So good to see you. So, Bonnie, first of all, as I just said, you are the host of two powerful podcasts. One, Queer Chaplain, and Splintered Grace, which is the podcast you have with your aunt, who's a conservative Christian. So you have a lot of, I like to call that gray in your
Mm.
life, because I think that for a long time lived my life in black and white, and then, the gray is, I think, where spirituality is found. But so my first question for you is tell us a little bit about your journey. So how did you get to be a queer chaplain?
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I really like. Thanks for having me on the show for one. But I think it was really great the way you kind of talked about there being maybe some gray in my life
Mm-hmm.
or ambiguity, because I don't think it started out that way for me. I grew up in a small town in Idaho, and I was a poor kid. I ran off to church because that was a safe place and a fun place. It was a place that I was cool, and that was a place where I got to know, I guess, Jesus. And I was a big evangelist. I wanted to save people for Jesus, and I thought there was only one way to be spiritual, and only one place we all were trying to get, which was heaven. And so, but even early on, I started having questions because my parents weren't church-going folk, so they were going to hell from what I was taught, but that didn't quite like line up for me. And so I think that was the start of my journey to kind of start to question maybe there is more than just like one way. I mean, I was always a little queer. My parents weren't church-going folks. I went to church. I left a small town. No, very few people left from my family from that small town. So that's kind of how it started, I guess, for me.
Wow. But I thought there was only one way to spirituality. You're telling me there's not? What?
I mean, there really is only one way, but
I'm just kidding you. I'm totally kidding you. So I think that, well,
right, right.
I think many of us think that way. And